Hi, I'm Jessie Sutherland, the Director of Intercultural Strategies, and I wanted to recognize Canada's second National Day of Truth and Reconciliation by sharing a little bit about a presentation that I did earlier this month I was so honored to do it with Chief Robert Joseph for the United Way of British Columbia all-staff meeting. And the topic of our presentation was Reconciliation Begins with Me. So I want to take the time today, as everyone is recognizing this day, to share what reconciliation means to me. And I'd love to hear from you what it means to you. So let me share my screen so I can share some of the thinking that I have. Just hold tight here a sec. Okay, here we go. I have my slides ready. So this is a photo of Chief Robert Joseph and I at the presentation earlier this month. And here I'll go into, he shared what reconciliation means to him, and you can learn all about that in his book and so much more. And here is what I wanted to share with you. I've been very inspired by many Indigenous leaders, elders, scholars, and activists. And my understanding of reconciliation that I'm going to share with you today, I'm just going to share two of the people that have really influenced my thinking. And that's Chief Robert Joseph and Dr. Jeff Schiffer. So Chief Robert Joseph, I attended a workshop he did over 20 years ago for residential school survivors. And this is what he shared. He said, for some, so remember this is 20 years ago, that went to residential schools, they're in denial about how bad it was. With enough support, they move out of denial and take on a victim identity. And then with enough support, they move out of their victim identity and take on a survivor identity. And what he talked about in this workshop is that he was interested in supporting to move from survivor to human being. And we got together after this workshop, and I said to Chief Robert Joseph, you know, I loved the personal journey that you laid out. And I think it's similar to non-Indigenous people. And this is what I shared with him. I think at first we're in denial about what happened and how horrific it has been and continues to be. And then with enough support and information, we move into an offender identity where our ancestors are offenders, we are offenders, our culture and all our systems are offenders. And with enough support, we move into more of a self-responsibility, cultural responsibility, system responsibility identity, where it's like, this happened and continues to happen. And what's my role? Am I going to participate in replicating the systems and relationships that I've been born into, or am I going to be part of creating and innovating a new pathway forward? So that's a sort of responsibility identity. I don't know how else to name that. And then with enough support, that also becomes a bit of a human being identity. And in this work on reconciliation, sometimes the human being identities can very much look like denial. But if both parties have gone through this journey, it's a powerful partnership. Sometimes in certain reconciliation efforts, there can be a collaboration between victim identities and offender identities. However, it can get a little bit stuck because it doesn't actually change the paradigm. So this is how Chief Robert Joseph really influenced my thinking and becoming a little bit more clear on what is the personal restorative journey that we all need to be on for genuine reconciliation. And the second person that really influenced my thinking is Dr. Jeff Schiffer, who is an Indigenous leader, scholar, activist, executive director, and so much more. And he has a framework for thinking about the systems journey from, as many people talk about, from decolonization to indigenization. And he defines these two things in a particular way. What he writes and talks about is that decolonization is a process of identifying elements of a structure or process that privilege European people and cultures, and then considering how remaking them might lead to more impactful, cost-effective, and sustainable outcome. It's something, decolonization is something we can all benefit from. And he defines indigenization as the intentional process of remaking inherited structures and processes in ways that acknowledge, respect, and include Indigenous worldviews, knowledge systems, values, and approaches. So that is very cool. It's pretty much a process that we all want to be part of. And, when I think of all the diverse cultures on the land and all the ways that these systems have hurt people in different ways, with the Belonging Matters framework, sometimes I also like to think about it as what are we changing? We are moving from systems of exclusion, which includes our personal habits of how we interact with one another, to cultures of belonging. That's a whole other topic. What is a genuine culture of belonging? But for now, I wanted this to be a short video to give you this one slide snapshot of what reconciliation means to me. To me, it's a parallel process. It's a two-way street, parallel process of personal and system change. And it's not a top-down or a bottom-out approach. It's an inside-out job. Reconciliation begins with me. And it's all hands on deck. It's the bottom, it's the top, it's the middle, it's everybody, to really do the kind of cultural and personal change that will have meaning, that will impact every way that we address the variety of challenges we face. It's all hands on deck and from an inside out perspective. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I'd love to hear what reconciliation means to you and how you're spending today. And I thought I'd leave with one other thing. You're welcome to a free gift that, if you're interested, it's our reconciliation bundle that we pulled together because so many people wanted some free ways to get started. So in this free bundle, there's a QR code and the web link there on how to access it. You'll get the research that we did on all, indicators of false reconciliation that are pretty prevalent. And we did this research from around the world, as well as 4 touchstones for genuine reconciliation. This comes from looking at truth and reconciliation processes in over 72 countries and really mining or getting the nuggets of 4 touchstones. And there's been focus groups and work with various Indigenous leaders that collaborated on an Indigenous engagement checklist that can be helpful for you as in the work that you do. And of course, it's so important that our key habit that has kept these systems in place is the habit of non-Indigenous people imposing their worldviews on others. So there's also in this bundle a little bit of information about understanding culture and worldviews and shifting that habit. So I'd love to hear from you. Reach out and let me know what reconciliation means to you and what you're up to today and planning maybe for the year even. That would be cool. Okay, have a wonderful day.